Well, here's Danelle on 2020 telling a bold ass lie.
I remember as I walked in through the Baylor emergency room, and my mother pulled me to the side and said, somebody broke into Darlie's house and he killed the boys. And he tried to kill Darlie, and we don't know if Darlie's gonna make it.
She had a gash on her arm that cut to the bone, and she had a slash across her throat that very narrowly missed her carotid artery. She very nearly died that night.
Now, I'm going to talk about, she's going to talk about what happened and why Darlie was sent to the ICU unit. Okay? It's a bold ass lie.
I remember when she came out of surgery and they told us that she was stable and they were going to put her in the intensive care unit because of the amount of blood that she had lost.
She's saying that they told her that they're going to put her in the ICU because of the amount of blood she lost. All right? But listen.
Wanted to really monitor her closely, and
They wanted to monitor her closely because she lost so much blood.
it was the safest place for her.
Now, this is from Beach House 34, where she took the time to read out all the transcripts for us. They're harder to find now these days. Darlie Fact or Fiction comes up as a private site now. It's a privacy thing and it won't let me on it. But this is Dr. Alex Santos, the one who treated Darlie, describing what happened during the surgery.
After she was sewn up and these wounds were cleaned up, what did you do with her then? After that, she was extubated, which means the breathing tube was taken out, and we put her in the intensive care unit for recovery. Can you tell us how long this whole procedure took to look at those wounds, the whole operation? I could look it up if you want the exact time, approximately an hour, hour and a half. There should be an operative record in there. Okay, she was brought into the operating room at 3:40 in the morning. The operation, the actual surgery, began at 3:50. We finished the operation at 4:35. That was the neck exploration. Then we turned our attention to the other wounds, as I mentioned, from 4:35 to 4:49. So if you look at the whole time of the operation, the time you examined and treated her neck to the time you finished with the other injuries, it was from 3:50 to 4:49, about an hour. And during that, while she's under, are you taking examination of any other injuries you might see? Yes, we did. Okay. And after that, where do you put her in the hospital? What is done under your orders? The patient can be taken either to a recovery room to recover from the anesthetic, the effects of the anesthetic until they wake up, or they can be put in the intensive care unit. In her case, we put her in the intensive care unit. Why did you decide to do that? My concern was, just from what little I know or knew of what happened, that I knew she had been injured and I knew one of her children was dead that I had seen in the ER. And I was told another child was dead at the scene. I was afraid that this might be a little too much for her. Plus, I knew that there would be a lot of media around and I didn't want her disturbed. So I put her in the ICU really so we could take care of her a little bit closer and protect her from anybody who might try to come in and bother her.
Nothing about blood loss. Nothing about extreme blood loss. They put her in there because he felt for her. She was going through some stuff. They just want to keep her away from people so she could recover. Nothing about blood loss.
Okay. What kind of patients are usually taken to the ICU unit? Usually critically ill patients that need to be maintained on a ventilator, the breathing machine. And that's one criteria for putting someone in the intensive care unit. someone who is unstable. The blood pressure is unstable, hard to manage. Someone who
Danelle said they told us that she was stable.
has multiple injuries, like car wreck victims who will have head, belly, and pelvic injuries. Okay, so Miss Routier wasn't put in the ICU because she was in critical condition by any means. No, her injuries, by the time we finished in the OR, I felt pretty clear that we had managed those and those were of no further danger to her. I was more concerned about her psychological state after all this happened, when she would wake up, and about protecting her from the media and all those kinds of things.
Nothing about blood
You
loss.
were a concerned being. You knew what about it was a stabbing and her 2 children had been killed. Is that right? Correct. And you were concerned about her psychological state and how she might handle that. Yes. And also didn't want the press coming in and asking her questions. Correct. Okay. Were you concerned she might, well, be somewhat unstable when she woke up from the operation? Yes, I was afraid that once she knew what had happened, that both children were dead, that she might be in a very precarious psychological state. Get sent.
I remember when she came out of surgery and they told us that she was stable and they were going to put her in the intensive.
They told us that she was stable. Dr. Santos just says, the people it's for critically injured people, right? They told us that she was stable. So she tells the truth here. Because he said she was stable.
Care unit because of the amount of blood that she had lost. They're
going to put her in the intensive care unit because of the amount of blood she lost? That's not what the doctor said, Danelle.
They wanted to really monitor the amount of blood that she had lost. And they were going to put her in the intensive care unit because of the amount of blood that she had lost. They wanted to really monitor her closely, and it was the safest place for her. We were at Darlie's side, and she was a little bit groggy from just having the surgery. And she wanted to touch the boy's picture and just cry and cry. And she was asking, why, God? Why my boys? Why my boys?
Why, Danelle? Caught you in a bold-ass lie. You're telling this is what you want the public to believe, that they put her in the intensive care because of the amount of blood loss that she had. They wanted to monitor her really closely because of the amount of blood loss that she had. You're a liar. Busted.